Just got out of watching Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and it was great. It was good. It wasn't like groundbreaking. It was no Avatar, The Wave of Water. It was no Oppenheimer. It was no Barbie, but like it was a good time, and I think it was well worth my $11.50 plus free parking validation. Let's see. So let's start off with the good. It looks great. It looks really good. The car looks super good. All the effects look really, really good. Some shots and some special effects looked really great. Obviously, it's a 2024 movie. It's gonna look really, really good. I think the core cast, the Spelunkies, the Spellhonkies, whatever. The main cast, the main family, I think they're really fun. I think they all have a lot of potential. And we're gonna circle back to this part, but I wish there was like more of them. Another great thing another great thing from this movie was the creativeness with the ghosts. You can almost like categorize these like ghosts as like any kind of creature, right? Like demons or monsters or like meta humans or something. They were very creative, and they always have been. I believe. Another good thing was that the original cast, like from like 1984, they didn't feel like they were shoehorned in. They didn't feel like they were like fucking just put them in there. I don't know. Like they didn't feel like useless, I guess. The original cast was in it as well. Did they play a pivotal role? Kind of. There was some like emotions and there were some parts of like the original cast I felt attached to and like invested in basically, but it didn't go all the way home. Like if they're running the bases, we stopped like around second base. Like it wasn't all the way there. Like they were fully utilized or their story arc was complete or whatever. And more good things from this movie. There was I have a lot more complaints, I guess. But just to recap the good parts, it looked great. Effects looked really great. The core cast has but it's just so much talent and so much potential. Underutilized, we'll get back to that. The original cast from the 80s didn't feel shoehorned in. They had enough of a role to justify them being there. And creative monsters / ghost. So, where does that leave us with the bad? Well, let's hop into it. I think the biggest offender for this movie would have to be the convoluted, overly complicated, like no one has a fulfilling story arc kind of like overall feel to it. We have like parenting issues and like coming of age issues, and like we have stuff like from ancient times that doesn't feel fully explored, and then we also have like a ghost girl that like kind of feels like some of her big pivotal moments were cut out, perhaps. What I'm trying to say is that they had a fantastic cast, like core cast of new characters and with a ton of potential, and they're like, well, we also want to bring in like the old people. We also want to bring in like older folk into it, so let's go ahead and throw in the old cast, and we'll give them some roles, and then we'll truck the story along a little bit when it didn't fully need it. I'm sorry. Like, I know they're important. I know that people have an attachment to the original cast. I get it. I'm right there with you. But there were so many different like mini story arcs going on that none of them felt super fulfilling, and like it could have used that. It could have used a little bit more emotional attachment for every character, and I think they would have driven that home. I think it would have been a home run if we got to know characters more, and at like the height of a fight scene or the height of like things going downhill or things going bad, it could have been great. I mean, I'm like, maybe I missed something. All I'm trying to say is that like there was like too many ingredients and not one of them shined. Like they all kind of came together to create like something that was like, oh, we can kind of like figure out like what the flavor is, but like there was no distinct flavor. Perhaps there was too many things going on. I don't want to say too many cooks in the kitchen, more like too many ingredients in the pot. It was, yeah, I don't know. Like I always want to jump back and say, oh, but it was still good. And it's good, yes, but I don't want to like excuse the fact that there was like too much. There was a ghost girl in the movie, right? And I'm not trying to spoil anything, but basically she had a good build-up, and like her build-up was great. It was really, really good. But like there was like a rising action, and then there was a segment where it kind of felt like it skipped over a few of her parts that like led to like the ending. And when she like finished her arc, it kind of felt lackluster because we didn't get to follow it all the way through. It's sort of like watching a UFC fight at the beginning, and it's so freaking good. Then you run to the restroom, find out you have to shit, and you're there for like a half hour, and you come back, and like one dude wins, and like you're like, oh, that's so sick, but like it really kind of cool to see that final battle. You know what I mean? Another thing. The original cast had like a little bit of beef with each other, with like morals and like putting people in danger / like who are we really kind of thing. And that was touched on for like 2 minutes, and I was like that could have been something, that could have been like great, but what the fuck do I know? And then that brings me back to the original core cast that's new. These guys are like almost like they're sharing the stage with like 30 other characters. This is probably a good time to say, I've never seen a Ghostbusters. This is probably not even the best time to say this. I've never seen one fucking Ghostbusters movie ever. This is my first one. This is my first Ghostbusters movie. Probably should have mentioned that. But I felt the core cast had a lot more to give. We might have gotten to know them better in the last movie. I don't freaking know. I wasn't there. All I know is that busting makes me feel good. You know what I mean? And so I can yap about how no character felt fulfilled, and like some things felt shoehorned in or almost like forced in there to appease everyone kind of thing. But I'm not going to continue harping on the fact that they all kind of jumped to their arc conclusion or they didn't feel necessary. I'm going to jump over to the main story. Like the overarching story, and then its ending. Same thing with the overarching story. It was cohesive. It was more creative than I would have imagined. What didn't feel supernatural, like not supernatural. What didn't feel like real natural to me, and what didn't feel epic enough was the ending. And I'm going to try my gosh darnest not to spoil anything for you guys, because I know a lot of you are probably on the fence about seeing this movie, or maybe you're not gonna see it at all. I mean, that's fine. I see a butt ton of movies, so whatever. The ending was sort of like let's say you're in a band, right? No. Let's say that like you practice so freaking long for something that's supposed to be like an intense moment build up in your life. Maybe it's your piano recital, and like that jackwagon from Southwestern, like Uptown Alley High is coming to be there. He's gonna really give you the competition, and then you get there and he's feeling really sick, and you win kind of by default a little bit, or you win and like it doesn't feel super great, or you win and it's like not super epic. You know what I mean? And that's like a long way of saying the fight was not on the big stage. The last fight wasn't incredibly epic. You know, this wasn't no Endgame. This wasn't no freaking what's another good movie or show? The ending scene was extremely lackluster. We kind of saw some of it coming. The big bad was like the big frozen empire. Ooh, I'm evil Elsa. Ooh, I'm the Ice King. Ooh, I'm cold as ice. The big bad was more menacing. The big bad was more menacing in the trailers than it was in this movie. Like in the trailers, he was like a pit bull. He was like your school bully in your dreams. He's 3 times your size. He was the IRS going for your $30,000 a year ass. In the trailers, he was like a lot bigger, a lot scarier. He froze over New York, you know what I mean? And the ending is just so not epic. Sorry. I mean, it was flashy, it was cool. And everyone has to do their part in killing him or defeating him. And it didn't feel good. That bust didn't make me feel good. When I'm busting Ghost, forgive me, but I want to feel good. I'm sorry. It felt lackluster, unfortunately. So the ending fell flat, unfortunately. But that's okay. I mean, I always want to jump to say that's okay. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't pay $12, $15 to see these movies. I pay $20 a month at AMC to see basically unlimited movies. But for the casual viewer, they might be a little bit more disappointed. They're like, you know what, man, I'm not sure that was worth this, like, $12 plus, like, my $8 Dasani, plus, like, my $15 popcorn, plus, like, my $7 bathroom tokens, like, oh, not to mention the freaking parking validation that I had to go through today. It's hard-pressed to say that this movie was worth $12.50 plus a $20 entree. Yes, it looked good. Yes, it was entertaining. You know what? One more plus. It was funny. It was funny the whole time. It was almost like lighthearted. It was like just silly enough to keep you going. You know what I mean? You came back for some more. Ooh, daddy, that was just funny and silly enough for make me want more. I want to bust and feel. Overall, I'm gonna give Ghostbusters Frozen Empire a 6.7 out of 10. Is this movie of the year? No. And do I think they could have done a lot better? Yes. I think it was creative. I thought it was funny. It loses itself when it tries to give everyone like a 3-season character arc in 2 hours. And when you shoehorn in characters that like didn't feel like wholeheartedly they should have been there. But again, I've never seen a Ghostbusters. This is my first time seeing a Ghostbusters. And maybe there's enough callbacks there to warrant you wanting to go see it. There were a lot of things that in this movie that I felt like, I don't understand that. But I've seen enough memes and enough like cultural like iconic movies and features and callbacks that I understand Ghostbusters. Yeah, so I don't even know how to end this. I hope that busting makes you feel good. It sure fucking does for me. All right, bye.